Spoken Labour. I haven't thought about flying for a long time. I haven't dreamed of that moment when I was alone above the clouds for a long time. I haven't dreamed of waking up in a room surrounded in blue and green grass for more years than I could dream of remembering. I haven't walked back into the past or scratched on the doors of my origins, where it all came from, since I held up that cape for the last time.
Return to Cape Town 10th Year Anniversary Edition is a revised version of Andy N's first poetry book. The book can be purchased from Amazon and it contains numerous additional material.
Spoken Label. Hi, it's Andy N from Spoken Label. Thank you today for streaming or downloading another episode of Spoken Label. Spoken Label was originally set up on beginning of 2016 and as of speaking has currently nearly 300 sessions. The full archive is available on Spoken Label bandcamp.com. Although it is available for free for stream and download if you wish, I am always grateful for any sort of kind of donation to enable me to keep the running costs of this podcast going. And enjoy. Take care. Bye bye. Spoken Label.
Hi guys, Andy N, Spoken Label, back in the house on the Monday evening. I'm knackered. I've been on training all day today in the day job, so I'm worn out. But it's always good to go and get a podcast on a Monday night. Cheer me up after a tiring day. Got a fantastic artiste with me today. I'm not going to say writer or theatre actress, which she is both of. It's tremendous. I first came with Selina Halliwell, probably about 2 years ago now, through the powers of Instagram. And I've always wanted, she's one of these sort of people today where I wanted to get her on Spoken Label. And she came along and read the speakeasy a couple of times recently. And I thought, she blew me away. So I thought it's perfect to ask her and when I meet somebody in person. So, Selina, obviously, for people who don't know you, tell us about yourself first of all. Then you told me already you're from the Berry. I know we've got a lot of ground to cover here. I know you told me you're from the Berry Whitefield area, and tell us about what they do into acting. Then first of all,
I think I always wanted to go into performing of some kind, like at school. I loved writing and performing. They were like my two passions. And it was just when I went to uni, I don't know, I think I was a bit scared, maybe a bit too nervous to like try and go to drama school then. So I went and did creative and professional writing at Nottingham Uni.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I really, really missed acting. So I started getting into doing a few different acting classes and going for things at the Playhouse, and like got back into it. Did bits and pieces of things. In 2018, I went to drama school, did a master's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in London, and then, moved back to Manchester in 2019 and kind of been all ago since, creating my own work and doing a lot of performances.
You have certainly. People, if you look at your CV, they will see how much work you've actually done. Now, I've got to ask you first of all, what led you to go to Nottingham then for university then, first of all?
It was the course. It doesn't exist anymore. Like I can't really. I can't. It's not like I can promote it because it doesn't exist anymore. But it was it was creative and professional writing. So it was like both sides. Like there was like sort of like advertising, editing, journalism, and then there was like the more creative side, short stories, novels, poetry. Like did some spoken word in it as well, and playwriting and screenwriting. There was just loads of elements of writing, and I just knew that I was passionate about writing. I think I had more of a leaning towards novel writing back then, whereas obviously I've moved more into theatre as my theatre acting has developed as well. But just because there was so many elements to the course that I was interested in, it's what drew me there.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair play to you. I know. When I did my degree, my degree is actually in creative writing and acting. I did mine at Bolton University.
Oh, cool.
a few years ago, to put it nicely.
Yeah.
But I don't act anymore now. The only time I act is my listeners have been a drama queen, but I don't. That's quite not what you do.
I suppose you kind of do with your spoken word, though.
Yeah, I do.
Acting
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think it is because I know what you mean with that. Seriously. Now, obviously, then you said 2018 you went to your masters in London, didn't you? So tell us about that experience, then, first of all, then, because obviously that would have given you would have started acting in London itself, wouldn't you? And before you came back to Manchester, so.
Yeah, well, just before I actually went to drama school in the summer of 2018, I wrote and produced and acted in my very first play. It was just the one act version of it. I ended up developing it while I was at drama school, and it was on again in 2019. But I think that it went down so well, and it got shortlisted for a couple of awards, which it ended up winning one. And I think that gave me so much confidence, and I don't know, I had a lot more belief in myself, I think, by the time I actually went to London. And I mean, drama school is really hard, especially a master's, because it's basically all the same work as the BA but just crammed into 1 year.
Oh yeah.
So it's basically like a caffeine addict while I was there.
I remember Amanda did she did a creative writing one she did on the masters, and I remember what that did to her. It's real pressure, that's for sure.
Definitely. But I had some amazing experiences, performed in some amazing theatres in London, and some of the directors I worked with were fantastic. And
if people look at your CV, see, obviously, like I said, I know you did. So you were in at least one play, weren't you? I'm trying to make sure I read this correctly now, which is the Rose Theatre, which is in Soho. Is that correct? And I've been there as well.
Oh, it was I was playing the part of a character called Rose.
Oh,
Soho
yeah. That's shit for brain reading things wrong. Then that's all, because it's the way he's set out on the people look at the Mandy.com website, but he's got you down as characters like Jazz Theatre and stuff. And I'm thinking, I wasn't sure they were a second reading it or Rose Theatre.
So that was part of the new writing section of my masters that I did. We did plays by up and coming playwrights and new people who had written experimental pieces and stuff. We did it at the Soho Theatre. It was called the New Writers Lab. That was really good. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I can imagine that's also been, like I said, been a massive experience for you straight away. And I know, obviously, I was going to ask you about your Brighton Fringe experience, but we'll come on to that in a moment, because I want to try and keep you to some kind of logical order, which my brain is not always the best way in that. So, but like I said, people obviously, like I said, you have done a lot of work, you have, straight away with it. Now, obviously, when you came back to Manchester, then obviously we'll concentrate that way. Then I know you've been involved in quite a bit since, haven't you? Then when you come back to Manchester, so tell us about your journey then, because obviously, people go to see one of your shows, and I've seen enough. I know enough about them to know, you don't just stick to one sort of idea, do you? You're expressing yourself all the time with it, I think, and changing.
Since I've come back from London, do you mean?
Yeah, from London, my brain's not here. Sorry, I've had a long day today.
No. Well, I'd done, like I mentioned before, I'd done my first play, a one-act version of it, Burnout, and I developed that into actually 2 acts that expanded on it. And when I came back after I graduated, I was immediately doing that, working on that. So that was on at the King's Arms in Salford in 2019. And I did another play at the King's Arms around the same time as well. So I was working on Burnout. I wrote a play, a 2-hander, for me and my friend and amazing actress, Mary Taylor, and that was meant to be on in 2020. Obviously, that didn't happen.
It got delayed. That's the best way.
Well, it got delayed, and then in 2021, we ended up making it into a digital production instead. But that went down really well.
That's Fruit Salad, wasn't it? That's why I think I first came across you, really. So when I found your Instagram, you were talking about that a lot at the time. And also, like
Yeah.
a few of the other plays I've known you for are more like one-handers, really, I suppose. But tell us about then, obviously, writing for two people. Like, that's a different ballgame altogether, I think.
I don't know really. It was kind of the idea just came to me. Like I had thought I would love to work on something just me and Mary, because we'd always been, a lot of people had always commented on the kind of stage chemistry that we had. And then I just got this idea of a play that it's set at one pub, and it goes over the course of a lot of years, and these two girls who are like close friends, and then the years pass and their friendship and their dynamic changes. And I don't know, I found the idea of like time passing really interesting. And I think because I kind of wrote it as like a friendship rom-com, I guess, like a friend com, like that's like how I wanted it to be a love story, but about friendship. Yeah,
I like the word friend com. That's a nice way of putting it, that definitely. But like I said, it's obviously after then, I know at the moment, obviously you've been doing another play which you've been on tour, haven't you? Lizzie Boone.
Yes. So,
I know, no rest of the wicked, you definitely. So
I know, never. I don't know. I need to give myself some rest, I think. It's all my doing as well. So,
well, I know Lizzie Boone. That one you took on tour, didn't you, as well? So
yeah. So I wrote that one in the first lockdown. Just I don't know. I guess I was inspired. To write a one-woman show in lockdown because I was locked down on my own. So I was like, well, it's just me. I could write a show for just me. And just the ideas were flowing. And I think most people are similar. I was a lot more creative and inspired in the first lockdown. By lockdown 3, I was like sick of it then. Didn't really have as many creative juices.
I think we all were by that stage, definitely.
Yeah. But then so that debuted last year at the Manchester Fringe Festival last September at the Anthony Burgess Foundation. And then I took it to London in December to the Hen and Chickens. It then went to Brighton Fringe in May, Buxton Fringe in July, and the Refract Festival in Sale. And then it was just on at the King's Arms, not this Saturday, just gone the one before, and it's in Wigan and Halifax. It was meant to be in Wigan and Halifax in September, but it got cancelled and rescheduled for next March. So, still going with it.
Oh, blimey, still running ahead of it, aren't you? So, probably you just be thinking, great, I can wind it down now, move on to the next project.
Yeah, I know, but you know how these things happen. But...
Oh no, I've got to want to ask you about your experience in Brighton Fringe, because I've got friends down Brighton. And I've got some really long-standing friends in Brighton, don't you? And I've been to watch a few shows at the Brighton Fringe over the years. So how was the Brighton Fringe? I think it's brilliant down there. I really do.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. The audiences were fantastic as well. Really like involved in the story. Like in Brighton, I think was like my most sort of the audience just like would say things out loud like about the play, like not just talking to each other, but like but I really liked it because it was like I knew they were like really into it. It was really great. And there was like I think there was a few like TV celebrities as well that were like watching shows at the Brighton Fringe at the time. I know Michael Maloney, I think he's called, came to see the Formidable. He came to see the Formidable Lizzie Boone. Yeah, so that was cool. Yeah,
brilliant. Now, obviously, if people are wondering about this play, obviously next March we're planning ahead a bit. Is really with this. I know you do a lot, not straightforward tricksters. You do between tricksters. I know you do voiceovers, don't you? And it's obviously like it's not just a straightforward play production what you're doing there, because and you do all kinds of tricks. Give us a few hints, then. You don't have to tell us everything, do you? So,
in the Formidable Lizzie Boone, so it's set mainly in a therapist's office, but it kind of flashes back through this woman's life, Lizzie's life. There's a lot of dark humor in it, and there's like I've got a wonderful voiceover actress who does the voice of the therapist, and then like various other voice actors that like play different people that she encountered, and I'm a voice actor in it at one point as well. I'm like one of my own bullies in it.
Excellent.
And there's loads of sound effects as well. It's quite a tech heavy piece, I'm always like the technician, like, I'm sorry, you have to like press the sound button so many times. But
No, it's got to be done. I'm always believing in plays. You've got to push as many buttons as you can, really. And you literally do, right? Now,
and there's burlesque in it as well, as a burlesque sequence in it. So that went down really well at Brighton as well. They're quite a big burlesque.
Oh yeah, they are around there.
Yeah.
So what made you want to bring burlesque into the play then?
Well, I got really into burlesque. I started doing burlesque classes like end of 2019, early 2020. So I guess it was like something I'd really fallen in love with at the same time as I was writing the play. So it was just like two things that I felt passionately about. They just kind of came together really nicely.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. To be honest with you, as I said, I think it's I'm always believing in mixing mediums together. And I've never seen a play yet that has a burlesque section in it. I know you do it because I've seen all the pictures on your Instagram page.
Yeah.
That's why. But no, I think it's a real challenge. That was an excellent idea. So now, bringing right up to date, obviously, because I want to talk to you about your poetry next, because obviously before we come on to what's coming up next, and we'll do that at the end. Because I know the 3 times you've read at Speakeasy now, I know you've been reading your poetry out. So yeah, tell us about the difference in writing poetry then for you then to actually doing your plays, because I've done both and I know it's completely different. I want to hear how you do it, how you feel.
Oh, interesting. I think with poetry, a lot of the time for me, I think there's a lot more like, it's more like just straightforward emotion that I pour into poetry. Whereas when I'm writing theatre, it's like, there's emotion there, but there's also like, it's a very carefully crafted story, and I'm usually trying to bring like a message about something, usually like mental health or like female empowerment or something like that. So there's loads of different threads, whereas with poetry, I feel like I feel something, I want to express it, and I kind of just throw it onto the page, and then I start to chisel it down and make it into something a bit prettier. But to start with, it's usually kind of like
I think when you're doing longer pieces sometimes, and I know this, I've got several bits of longer pieces wrote, you could hide things more. I think when it's poetry sometimes, you're right, it's warts and all, isn't it, because of the length sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Now I want to obviously now to start wrapping up a bit, I want to give you a chance to read out a fair few things for us today if you've got a chance. So I want to talk about what you've got coming up next. Because obviously I know you've got we both said this already, you've got a play, also a production, I use the word production actually, coming up in December actually, first of all, haven't you? So just tell us about that. I'll let you give us all the exclusive in that then, right?
So on the 10th of December, it's a cabaret sort of variety night. I produced my first one on the 20th of August at the King's Arms. The next one's going to be at the King's Arms as well. And it's just a sort of cabaret variety night. It's a mixture of burlesque, music, and spoken word. It's all female. Sort of the theme of the night is female empowerment. The theme loosely is Vixen, because it's Ember and the Vixens, but it's about female empowerment and women supporting women, and that's kind of the loose theme of it. And it's just it made me feel amazing last time, like watching it, because oh my god, the amount of work that goes into creating a full cabaret was so stressful. But then when I actually saw it unfold, I was like, wow, I want to do this again.
Oh yeah, and I can't blame yourself. Like I said before, I'm reading up on it. I was reading up before, and obviously on the ticket pages for this, and you've got quite an interesting feel for when it's going completely. So, and like I said, it would be like, so was it that sort of you trying to get this together? Did you know what direction this was going to go straight from the beginning with the acts you wanted and everything else, really?
I kind of did, like, maybe not all the specific acts, but I knew I definitely wanted to create something where it did have burlesque music and spoken word in it, because I just thought they would go really well together. And like a couple of people, I remember when I first was telling people, I was like, yeah, I'm putting on this night, and they'd be like, what, burlesque and poetry? But then when you actually saw it all together, it really did work. Like it just, yeah, it was a really good sort of mix of different things.
Cool. Now, is there any hint you can give us about what you're going to be doing during this night?
Yeah, so I'll be doing 2 burlesque acts. One of them is a bit more fun, a few more props and some cool things that I won't give too much away. And then one's going to be like a sort of Christmassy, more like classic burlesque act that I'm going to create specifically for the festive period.
It's got to be done. So brilliant. Well, good luck with our show, definitely. Now, obviously, beyond that, then, obviously, this podcast we're going out just before that. Now, do you have much plans? What you're looking at going into 2023 at the moment? Okay, I know we're actually people wondering we're recording this at the end of October, so like I'm putting Selina right on the cover here.
I'm not sure at the moment. I mean, me and Jazz Nizik from 2B Productions, we're doing a show next month at the Fitzgerald called Lost in Tib Street, which is kind of a fusion of burlesque and jazz music. Bit of a show.
I was looking at the poster of that before, because obviously it's one of those ones where it was difficult for me to ask you about that, because obviously this podcast goes out after that.
Yeah, well, that will be the night that it's on, but depending how it goes, I think we are hoping to take it to more places. So possibly that will be something that I'll be working on in 2023. Yeah, and I've got a workshop that I'm doing for the Young Collective at the Royal Exchange on how to produce your own work. So I think I do want to lead a few more workshops as well, and I don't know, fight the imposter syndrome and pass on my knowledge, I guess.
Well, I think obviously if you're planning things for next year, then my philosophy is have a few glasses of wine over Christmas and see what it produces sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
No, definitely not. No, obviously, I'm going to have to ask you, and we'll let you do the plug to wrap up this bit then anyway. So if people want to get told the tickets then for Ember and the Vixens, where did they go to get the tickets, first of all?
Where to get the ticket?
Yeah, where to get tickets from, yes.
So I think they're on Fatsoma, but you can find the ticket link through the King's Arms website. And I think tomorrow by the time you're listening to this podcast, they'll be up on my Linktree as well. So if you go on Selina Halliwell Productions on the Facebook, Instagram, or just Selina Halliwell on Twitter, my Linktree is there and you'll be able to find the ticket link.
Brilliant. I also know you're on Instagram as well, aren't you? So also, if people want to track you on Instagram, I'll let you tell them how they can find you.
Yeah, it's Selina H Productions on Instagram.
Brilliant. Okie dokie. That sounds good to me. So what we'll do, we'll wrap up this part, Selina. We'll let you get composed and you'll read out a few extracts for us in the second half.
Yeah, no problem.
Hang on, everybody. It's been great to say. Thank you, Selina, for this. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
See you all in a minute.
Spoken Label.
Hi, guys. Yes, and the end. Fantastic. Selina Halliwell. Straight over to Selina now. She's going to do a few bits and pieces for us. And this is great now, because I don't actually know what she's going to do. So I feel like I'm watching an extract of my own show here. So over to you, Selina.
Yeah, I'm going to start with a piece that's from Lost in Tib Street that will have debuted at the Fitzgerald. I'll just go ahead and read it. We're drinking wine, caught up in laughter static. You're charming, shiny, charismatic. We play our parts, the boss and burlesque role, but when it's us alone, I bare my soul. I chased you like a wide-eyed feline. You saw me and you made a beeline. Professional and distanced. We can't keep our distance. We're tangled together in golden twine. You're like a drug, but no drug is as good. I'd rather get high off you than get high. You're a hit of something, an elation flood. I'd rather kiss you than float or fly. I saw you staring, I licked my paws. You give me a taste of creme d'applause. I'm just a mouse, your cat eyes bound. A kiss so close, threads tightly wound. You're like a drug, but no drug is as good. You take away my sense of what is right. You're a hit of something, a euphoric flood. I'd rather be blind than see another light. You're perfect, you're handsome. My love, you're the best. I trip and fall down your spiral steps. There's no rail to hold, and I really don't care. If you fall too, I'll meet you there. I chased you like a wide-eyed feline. You saw me and you made a beeline. Professional and distanced. We can't keep our distance. We're tangled together in golden twine.
Fantastic. Great start, that one, indeed. So it's quite an evocative piece, actually, that one. And really, really engaging. Fantastic. Okay. Do you want to give us another? Would you like to give us another piece?
Yeah, sure. So this is a poem I wrote called "Why Do You Make It So Difficult to Love You?" You're difficult, my love, an infuriating, intoxicating fireball of person, twisting together the kill and the kiss. You always felt like a burden, didn't you, Little Miss? Little Miss Pokemon, dealing cards like cocaine, screaming for consistency, confusing love with pain. Little Miss House Party, spinning with your Lamborghini, tequila tangled tangents, alcohol bubble wrap made you greedy. You poured love into inconsistence, avoidance, and straight up pricks, because that's the love you were used to, love you wanted desperately to fix. You worked so hard, your talent grew, applause and compliment gave you kicks. Kicks from, your acting was amazing, from, break a leg, good luck. Kicks from, you're so sexy, from, I like you, can we fuck? But these kicks get you naked, not just in body, but in mind, showing pieces of your soul to those who won't always be kind. Too many women write one-woman shows. The men perform better, that's just how it goes. I like you, just not enough, what can I say? You're not marriage material, but can I get a shag anyway? At first it consumed and drowned you, caused you to offer up pounds and pounds of flesh, but time and shock and self-inspection triggered a reset and refresh. You're difficult, my love. An intimidating, intriguing wild fox of a woman, weaving together the bliss and abyss. You're starting to feel at ease and at one, aren't you, grown-up miss? Miss Vixen showing skin, swaying, seducing on stage, finally feeling fused with your flesh and the words you breathe onto the page. Miss, ha, you're right in your dreams, mate. Being whoever you want you to be, letting past shame and insecurity slide away and dissipate. I wasn't not good enough, I was too good. I'm sure you'd take me there if you could. It's your loss if you can't see my worth. My art is why I'm on this earth. Now you're showing off, don't take it too far, don't truly become him. Just take a piece of all of them and keep them under your skin, the parts of them that fuel your fire, that pour light into your sky. And when the scars are made again, they'll heal fast and you will fly. You drive me almost crazy. You'd rather have fun than have a baby. You think too much, you send too long texts. You've actually cried whilst having sex. You're impatient and you burn yourself to the ground, but you're not so insecure now with this you found. And the best night of your life, when you lit it all up, it came tumbling down and I had to clean up. You're difficult, my love. An infuriating, intoxicating firecracker of a person, twisting the kill into a kiss, and you'll never be a burden. Do you hear me, miss? You don't make it difficult to love you. It's just difficult to love. Everyone has their own brand of difficult, and not everyone shines from up above.
Fantastic, absolutely. But I've heard you do that piece before at Speakeasy, and
Yeah.
I remember that well at the time, because when you did that one, I remember turning on telling Amanda, I thought we could have said that's been the best piece of the night so far, and there wasn't a better piece than that came rest of the night, actually. No, it's because I think your shows in that piece and the third piece is great before it. But this poem showed you real theatrical background there as well. It did, because it had that sort of, it was like a monologue, wasn't it? It done in poetic form, really. So that's why. I'm not going to actually get the content of it, because that's nothing to do with me. But
Yeah.
no, but it's like, do you find when you're writing poetry sometimes that, and if you get on stage to read them, you automatically go into your theatre zone, don't you? Sometimes, I think, automatically.
Yeah, I think when I get onto a stage, there's a certain persona that you kind of, I don't know, you just kind of wear, because you're there, you're performing, and it's, yeah.
Does it for me off time, like when I'm going, whenever I go on stage now, because I'm a retired actor, like I said, but what I do is I automatically go into the performance zone myself whenever I'm doing it, whether the pieces are about me or they're complete out and out lies, which does happen sometimes. And I've had people, I'm sure you've had this before now, when you've done short pieces, people said to you afterwards, oh, I can really relate to that. And you're stood there thinking, that piece is an out and out.
Yeah.
That's right. But, you know, fantastic. Do you want to give us one more piece to wrap up then with Selina's today?
Yeah.
Over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll just do a little bit from, I've got a monologue due to be published in the Indivisible anthology by Commonwealth Publishing House. So I'm just going to do the first couple of bits of that. I was going to kill myself when I was 16. Funny that, isn't it? When everyone else was comparing eyeliner flicks and how many boys they kissed, I was like, overdose or noose. I didn't, obviously, and I'm glad. I'd have missed so much. Like, everyone loves avocados now, and being ginger is actually kind of hot these days. And you don't actually have to be friends with people who treat you like shit. Who'd have thought? You can just cut them out of your life with your metaphorical scissors. And alcohol tastes good too. There's more than just £4 wine and a bottle of cheap cider to choose from. I'd never have known that if I'd snuffed it, would I?
You caught me out then. You completely caught me out then. Sorry for the viewers then. I thought when Selina meant a few paragraphs, I didn't think literally you meant a few paragraphs.
Yeah, you'll have to get the anthology.
Yeah. When is the anthology out then? Go on, give us a plug on that as well then, because I didn't know about
that. So I'm reading from it on the 5th of November, and then it is due out in November, so it should be out by the time this book comes.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
No, is that something you think you can actually perform then properly again as an act leading into another play or something? Or
I've not really thought about that, but possibly, yeah.
It was really vivid, certainly. So that one, I'm not going to ask obviously about was that you were you like that at 16 or?
She's definitely not based on me.
Fair enough, then. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean with the piece I wrote about myself, and I was supposed when I was 16. Different being altogether. So, anyway, Selina, it's been tremendous today. So, thank you very much for today. I've really enjoyed this.
Yeah, thank you.
Hang around, because I need to ask you a couple of quick questions before we wrap up. But thank you again.
Okay.
So, and hopefully see you at Speakeasy again soon as well. So you're always welcome. So.
Thank you.
But anyway, guys and girls, that's it for today for another episode of Spoken Label. And as Don Callis over at Impact Wrestling says, stay safe and stay over, and we will see you all next time.
Spoken Label.